Good afternoon, Princeton Garden Club. I'm Bob Wells, and I'm sorry that I can't be with you this afternoon. I have a new grandson down in Atlanta, and duty calls. So Dominic and Danielle Godefroy have agreed to put together a short film about some of my favorite places in Marquand Park that I'm able to share with you today. We're standing in one of my favorite areas of the park right now, in the shadow of the Weeping Higgincherry and right next to the Golden Rain Grove and right next to the Gallup Bench. It's one of my favorite areas because this view to the northeast towards the berm back here is illustrative of a variety of plantings that were called out in a speech just a month ago by the director of the Morris Arboretum, Paul Meyer. In that speech, he recognized 10 trees that he thought would be particularly good for the 21st century in the era of climate change and warming and wetter weather. And the 10 trees that he called out, 9 of them are within our view right here. One of them being the Golden Rain right here. Katsura right there where the squirrel is. The Kentucky Coffee right next to it. The willow oak down here. And as we walk further down, we'll see a Machia emurense. We'll see a Sciadopodes. We'll also see a metasequoia. Let's take a walk. Next in line we have a Katsura. Cercidophyllum japonica. This is a tree that loves wet feet, and appropriately enough, here it is right at the end of this little drainage area. The tree's doing fine. Beyond it we have a Kentucky coffee tree, number 3 on Paul's list. Highly adaptive to warmer and wetter weather conditions. It's more of a southern or a midwestern tree. And here it is in Marquand Park, a wonderful species. To the left here we've got a willow oak. This is a mama of one, a giant willow oak that was here until 2014 when we finally took it down. It was split right down the middle. And then off to the left of that is our wonderful Perodia persica tree. This is a Persian ironwood tree, native to the Caucasus Mountains in Azerbaijan, west of the Caspian Sea. Highly adaptive tree, beautiful fall color, and it's just starting to turn right now. We'll come back in another week and we'll see every color that you can imagine here, from reds to oranges to yellows to paper bag brown, all right in the same tree. Next on our list of highly adaptive 21st century recommended trees is going to be the metasequoia. At the moment, this beautiful ball cypress is in the way, and the ball cypress is looking great. It too would be a great species for the 21st century, but the one that Paul mentioned was the metasequoia. Metasequoia glyptostroboides, or dawn redwood. This is a tree that we didn't even know existed until it was found in the mountains of China in 1941 by botanists from the Arnold Arboretum. This particular species was planted here in the early 50s, and it's very happy. One of the first acts of the foundation when it was formed in 1954 was to commission the firm of Clark and Rapano, landscape architects in New York City, to do a study of the park and make recommendations about its future use. One of the people that was used in that study as their consultant was a man named Pascal P. Perron, P.P. Perron, Pascal Pompey Perron, who in 1941 wrote the seminal work Maintenance of Shade and Ornamental Trees, which has been in publication ever since. And when I was a young arborist in the 1970s, that was virtually the only published work that I could find on the subject of arboriculture, the art and science of caring for trees. And so I have many happy memories of coming here to what we now call Magnolia Hill and Marquand Park in general, and walking around with my P.P. Perron volume and studying the trees for the Certified Tree Expert exam, which I took in 1975. So one of the recommendations that came out of that study was that this area behind me be designated as Magnolia Field. And they did that because there is a fine selection of the family Magnoliaceae in this collection here. Since this is the highest point in the garden, we now refer to it as Magnolia Hill, and I've been delighted to discover that of the 12 genera that exist in the family Magnoliaceae, 9 of them are here on Magnolia Hill. So one of the thoughts that the foundation has had is to try to become a certified member of the Plant Collections Network, which is part of the American Public Gardens. It's the flagship program of the American Public Gardens Association, APGA, of which we are members. And in that program, Plant Collections Network, they certify and accredit collections of notable worth and significance. And in my opinion, this is one that I think is worthy of that designation. And so in the next few years, we'll be doing that. So as we stand here, we can look at a number of the species that comprise those 9 genera. Off to our right is one of the cucumber magnolias. This is a subvariety cordata. It's a smaller tree with a brilliant yellow flower, and it stands right on the edge with the point caris behind it. And it's a wonderful, wonderful specimen. Last year we planted a sweet bay right here in front of us. This is Magnolia virginiana. It's a tree that's native to Happier in South Jersey. And it replaces a sweet bay that was lost in 2014. Behind it is a Linney magnolia. And then off to the left is the largest cutleaf beech in the state of New Jersey. Not a magnolia, but a pretty fine tree. We can just see beyond the bench there a really beautiful example of a southern magnolia, Magnolia virginiana. That's Bracken's beauty. It's hardy in this clime, unlike many other southern magnolias. It is not apt to lose its leaves in a hard frost. Right in front of it here is a variety of the Magnolia salungiana, saucer magnolia. And behind it is a Cobus magnolia. And there are several others behind it. Long before climate change was a recognized concern, the Marquand Park Foundation had identified many species as being worthy of retention and accessioned them as part of the collection. As I view the line of 21st century recommended trees by Paul Meyer, I'm reminded of those gardeners, arborists, and curators of this magnificent garden that have gone before us, and how much I am blessed to be enjoying now the fruits of their labor, insight, and planning. It gives me pause to consider what our responsibilities are now to ensure that there be a Marquand Park of equal standing in the 22nd century. Thank you and good afternoon.